Let me just take it.
Hi guys, thank you for tuning in to my second episode of Hustler LinkedIn Live Show. Sorry we're late. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, which turned out to be just a minor little my fault where I unmuted my whole audio system. So welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry for the delay. I have an amazing guest today, Marcus, who is a true definition of a hustler, but not just for himself, but also for his clients. I've seen a lot of your posts where you're celebrating success stories of your clients and how you make them make unlimited sales, revenues, 6 figures, 7 figures. Every time I see it, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So welcome, Marcus. How about you take a moment to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad we're here talking. Very pumped to be here. So I'm Marcus Shan, founder of Venli Consulting Group. And I have my own business now for about 19 months, in which I help B2B sales professionals sell and earn additional $50,000 to $100,000 more this year without just working harder. Now, before this, I was in corporate America for over 14 years, started at the very bottom. Got promoted 10 times in 10 years, worked for two major Fortune 500 companies, to the point where I was running a large sales organization of over 100 plus employees, doing some pretty cool results, until I decided to make that leap to start my own business. And now we're here.
What made you want to start your own business?
It was a pretty hard decision. It wasn't something, I just like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I actually never wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Really?
And yeah.
Why?
So, my parents actually were entrepreneurs, and
so was my dad. That's why I wanted to be one.
Yeah, I didn't want that. I grew up working in a restaurant. We worked 80 plus hours a week. No weekends, no holidays. I hated it personally.
Oh.
So I remember as a kid, I said, if I could find a way to be able to use additional skills, to use my brain, to make money, to make more money in less time, I want to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first graduated, I went to B2B sales. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but I figured this was a place to start. Because I learned how to run a business, do all these things. And I really struggled at first. Now, eventually I figured it out, started having success, started getting promoted, started achieving more and more success, and that was really cool. And fast forward about 8-9 years, I had a lot of people ask me questions, say, hey Marcus, how'd you go about do this? How'd you have success? How are you so consistent with results? How'd you thrive in the last recession? How did you promote so many times? They're like, you should write a book. And I'm like, well, I guess. I mean, I don't think I'm special. I just work hard. I show up. I think I'm just doing whatever else is doing, right? And I started really reflecting. And I realized I just thought a little bit different. And I become a whole person over the last 8 to 10 years. So I said, you know what? I'm going to first write a book. So I went and first wrote my first ebook. And this is before ebooks were the whole thing. And I'm like, let's write an ebook. And let's just sell it online. I took some time. I wrote out how to promote 10 times in 10 years. Put it out there into the world. And I remember I woke up overnight. I woke up the first night. And I realized I made $9, and that was really powerful. And I was like, wow, I just made $9. That's pretty cool. And from there, I knew I couldn't leave my corporate job for $9 an ebook. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead, and I'm gonna what else can I do from here? So I started an online business, started learning more and more, continue to have success, and it got to the point where I was like, you know what? If I want to serve at a greater level, I would have to do it outside of corporate America. And one of the things I was looking to potentially scale at the time was build an online course. So I built an online course. It took me 2 years to build it out. I also traveled quite a bit, working nonstop, flying everywhere. And I did a soft launch. And this was back in right at January 2019. I woke up and made $2,000 overnight. And I realized I could scale that. So then I planned a course on how to make that shift, because I had the realization, even though I had a major impact on my organization, my employee, everyone else around me, that was really cool. If I wanted to serve at a greater level, I would have to do it outside of corporate America. I would have to do it the next level. I have to do to the world. So I planned it out. It took me about 9 months because I had stock I was going to invest. I had an award trip I wanted to go on. All these things going to happen. So I wait till all the things happen. 9 months later, I quit my job, went all into my business, and it's been an amazing journey since. There's ups, there's downs, just like anything else. But it's been really, really amazing to be able to have a really cool impact to people in their lives all across the world now.
Sorry, I muted myself. People are saying there's a voice issue. Can't hear, echo. Hopefully it gets resolved.
Yeah, there's a little bit of echo. Let me try this real quick. Let me change the setting real quick. Okay. Is there still an echo? Still echo?
So people are saying it's fixed, so let's see. Hopefully.
Beautiful.
We were
messing around before. I'm like, I'm going to try all these settings. We'll see what happens.
You know what? Yeah. Beauty of technology. And, Marcus, thank you so much for being so patient and being a sport about this and just winging it as we're going with all these little technical difficulties. Okay, so first up, I was amazed when you...
Hold on.
Still echoing.
Let's see. What happens if I click? Okay. Is there still an echo now? I hear myself echoing too, actually.
You can? So I put you on the echo cancellation setting.
Yeah.
Let me try that again. See, hopefully this is still echoing. Okay, let's see. Maybe it sounds like two mics are on at the same time. Okay, maybe this will work. Sorry guys, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. Yes, still echo. Let me try put myself on a echo settings. Where's my mic settings?
Well, usually for ones like this, I actually have to turn off echo canceling. I just have to turn it off.
I have the echo cancellation on. Maybe this will help. Let's see. So we'll just wing it for now until someone...
We'll just wing it. We'll just keep an eye on the comments. We'll find out.
We hear this echo. Someone said there is a little echo, but you can still understand. So guys, sorry. We're just going to keep going. If there is an issue, it's like a DJ music. Well, then it's perfect as long as there's some music happening. Yeah, let's just party. Okay, so two things. One, you said you started with the ebook before an ebook was even a thing. Now, ebooks, it's interesting because it's a lot of work. Where did you even start? Like, how did you even know what to write? Like, so many people tell me to write an ebook, and I had not touched it yet. Like, I have courses and all that stuff, workshops and all that stuff, templates you can download. But ebook is like, I just get scared. I was like, I don't know, right? So where did you start?
Yeah, you know what's funny is I personally found doing the ebook was significantly easier than doing like a course and everything else. Yeah, it really is because
opposite. I found doing a workshop.
Yeah. So I mean, imagine this is how I think about it, right? So you think about, for me, I remember at the time I was like, what am I going to write about? Like, how am I going to fill this up? Like, will people even read it? And I just started really paying close attention to what are really common questions that people were asking me, right? Let's take a look. What's that say? Marcus Chan. Is it still echo? Your side only?
Your side only.
Okay, let me try this real quick.
Someone's saying it seems fine now.
Okay, who knows? I changed the setting too. So I changed the setting that usually is always better when you have like a mic like this. But we'll find out. So let me know if it still sounds echoey, but we'll find out.
It doesn't sound too much echo now. Seems fine now, so let's go.
Yeah, sometimes it gets all crazy how it is what it is. But anyway, so I started to really look at like, hey, what are people asking me questions about? What are common things? And the first thing was like, again, promote. Like a lot of people in their career, they wanted to be able to get promoted, and they were frustrated because maybe a top performer or they have great results, and then someone else they felt was less qualified, had less skills, would get promoted over them. And they're like, how did you do that? Like, you had the less tenure, like in every single role. You somehow were able to beat people out. You changed a whole different company, and you were still able to get promoted even though a completely different company. And these are in major corporations, not some small company.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, you know what? Let me write an ebook on that. So I started writing out. I'm like, if I knew what I know right now, what could I break down step by step? So I started mapping out. It's like I began with the end in mind and started working backwards. And so I started writing that out. And it's actually the same way I did also with building out courses and programs. And it's really similar to even a workshop, because you think about what's that desired end result that client or person consuming the content wants to be able to achieve from the workshop, the book, the course. And then how can you make it in a step-by-step way in which is so simple and easy to understand that's going to walk them through doing it. And that's all I did. It's all I did. So I found it even easier to do that, because I'm like, okay, you know what? Step 1, step 2, step 3, and I made like a blueprint. And that's just how I think. So it made it very easy to be able to turn that into a PDF guide, and then have someone help me make the graphic, make it look really pretty. And then from there, the hardest part I personally found was not even doing that part, was learning some of the tech back then. Because the tech back then, there wasn't as many softwares and programs that are available today. I'm like, where do I house it? How do I distribute it? How do I make it not manual? Because what I was worried about, because I was still working full time, I didn't want to have to, be working during the day. Someone would pay for it, and then later on that day, 8 hours later, 9 hours later, at home, I finally get to send some manually. And I didn't want that to be their experience, because I didn't want them to think I was just taking their money, So learning that was I was more worried about that. That's what I was more worried about. And I was following this guy named Pat Flynn. He has this great podcast, Smart Passive Income. And he had this little program. I can't remember if I paid for it or not. If it was probably very inexpensive. But I learned how to be able to set it up on a very simple site and have it automatically processed through. So that was pretty. I can hear you, but not Marcus. Hold on.
And then someone's saying that your volume's slightly lower. Still fine, it seems. Hey guys, put up your own volume.
Let's take a look. Let me just adjust it now. So sometimes the mic volume beta doesn't work very well. So I'm gonna move it up a little bit more.
I unchecked that part.
All right, I turned it up a little bit as well. I'll increase my gain a little bit. So hopefully we'll see. We'll find out. Tech is so cool and all that. So yeah. But that's how I got into doing ebooks and learning how the whole like online world. I wanted to be like someone can go onto my website, buy it, and I can get in their email within a minute. I wanted that. I wanted to be seamless. That's what's really important.
Yeah. So what website? So wait, let's track back. What year did you launch your ebook?
Let's see. That was 2015.
Okay, because when you said, now we have a lot of different programs, like, oh, what year did you launch your ebook? Because it's true. We do have, there's Kajabi, there's Podia, there's
Gumroad, there's cheap ones, there's Teachable, right? There's so many now.
Yeah, there's so many. There's a free one called Vault Members or something, and you can start out for the whole free membership site for free, and you can download things. So yeah, there's tons of things that one can do. Now, you said you didn't want to be an entrepreneur. You went into launching a book and you saw some return come from it. What prompted you to then keep going?
Yeah. Well, to me, it was the idea that some random person out there found value in what I was creating. And to me, that was like, wow, like someone's able to stumble across me. At the time, I was using Instagram, a main source of traffic. They were able to go and buy this ebook and see returns, see result from that. And that was really, really neat, because I'm like, wow, I can really have a bigger impact. And that was really powerful, because it really became, at that point, I'm like, this is now a matter of driving traffic and improving conversions across the board. So for me, I started realizing, like, wow, you know what, I could do more. But I also realized too, like, you know what, a $9 ebook, there's so much more that can be still done. I can elaborate more. So I'm like, okay, what else could I do? And at the time, online courses weren't as big of a thing either. So I'm like, So I started, really learning about online courses. I started buying programs to learn how to build out programs. And that was a really neat concept for me. I'm like, this allows me to actually teach someone through their laptop anywhere in the world. And that was a really neat idea for me. And because at the time, I just got promoted, I was already running remote teams, and they're all around the U.S. I'm like, you know what? I'm already basically doing that, but what if I could do it away and create a program that's designed for past version of me. When I started in sales, a version of me that could really help me be successful in sales. So that's when I started learning about online courses and building it out. And I built basically a program for my past version of me that was able to start getting some traction. And that was really cool with that first launch because people were getting results people didn't know. And that was just so powerful. It was such a gratifying, fulfilling feeling to know that I was making an impact now across the world, and is all from my laptop. And of course, at that time too, I started learning, like, you know what, this would be really neat. Like, what if I could build a business all around this? A business where I literally can serve people all around the world. All I need is my laptop and Wi-Fi. And I have complete time freedom.
So interesting you say that.
Because
Yeah,
you start having these shifts in your mind and your life.
Yeah.
You know, it's when this type of stuff happens.
That's exactly what I did 2019. I started converting my HR business to more digital, something that I was playing around in my head for 2 years. I used to follow this individual person. Her name was Six Figure Chick. Found her on Instagram. I started following her 2017. I learned so much from her, but I didn't take that punch yet until my dad died. And then I really started reevaluating my entire life, my business, dropped one business. I'm like, I don't want to be doing multiple things. Let me just focus on one and build that. And then it was like, well, I don't want to be tied down to a desk. I want to go virtual, digital. I want to make my entire business digital so I can be anywhere in the world and work, travel. And I wanted to automate stuff to the point where I'm making money even in my sleep.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Exactly
Technically, right? So I started building out I started looking at processes that I was doing for every company. I found that for every company, small, medium-sized companies don't really have any built out HR processes. I took all my entire HR process, build it, and I'm selling it digitally now. So you can click, download, implement it yourself. There's videos and all that stuff, right? So a lot of work. Then also I had this idea for 2 years to teach. I was teaching LinkedIn for free on Instagram. Then I was like, I should be doing workshop and stuff. I was discussing this with one of my young nephews, and he's like, you should do it. You're gonna, if you don't do it, someone's gonna beat you to it. And it always happens to me. If I don't do something, someone else beats me to it. Then I was just sitting on these ideas, and then the push came from my dad dying. I mentally just didn't have the capacity to go and do cold emails and sales. So I just started pushing stuff on LinkedIn, and then I didn't know what workshop to teach. And then so I followed Damon John, the Shark Tank.
Yep.
I love that guy. I've learned so much from him. And it's interesting what he's saying. You started paying attention to the question people were asking you. That's what he says. Pay attention to what people are coming to you for. Don't go creating things until you know what people want from you. So I started paying attention. Being in HR, people always reaching out to me for job searching and all that stuff. So I started paying attention, and then that's what led me to create my first workshop, masterclass, workshop, same thing. And then led me to create second, third, and whatever. And then halfway through, I was like, wait, people are still struggling after the workshop, then led me to create a whole 5-week program, land a job in 30 days, and so on. Long story short, that's how I started with the whole coaching side of my business. And then last year we split the two business into two businesses. So we took one business, split it. So now you see two different names, HR Superhero and GKM. So I'm so curious to know. Now, everybody has this misconceptions of entrepreneurs. People think that they just, became rich overnight. What was your struggle journey? Did you struggle?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, did you struggle?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's interesting now because now I've been really fortunate in business for about 19 months full time. Even though it was a side hustle before, but 19 months in, when someone looks at what I've done in 19 months, they might be like, oh wow, it was just easy for him, right? Like, oh, look, he's been on Forbes, Yahoo Finance, he's winning all these awards, he's making massive impact, he has all these clients now. Oh, it must be really easy for him. No, it's not. It was really hard. And I think one of the first hardest hurdles was when I first made that leap. And it's such a weird leap because mentally, even from an ego perspective, I was so used to having a big team, a lot of employees, and you do build a little bit of an ego. You feel like, I don't want to say like powerful, but you feel kind of powerful when you have a large team underneath you as part of your organization. And that was really, really, really powerful to have. But also because of my reputation, I had a lot of influence across the whole organization, across other people. That was all gone. All gone. Okay. I have me. That was it. Right. And that was a really interesting shift for me to go into that shift of trying to figure out, okay, you know what am I going to, how am I really going to build this out? Am I going to be able to do this to the level I want? And when you first start out, I started taking massive action. One of the first things I realized pretty quickly, I first 2 weeks or first week or two, I burned through 2 weeks and I didn't realize what I was doing. I'm like, what did I do all day? I had no idea. I'm like, where'd all my time go? So then, of course, that forced me to, get more, because I'm pretty organized. I'm like, I need to get even more organized. I need to really plan out my days. All of the tools and things I had in place that really helped me be effective in corporate America, like basic tools I just didn't have set up anymore. For example, having an Outlook calendar, having a task list, all those things that was part of what I could utilize, I had to put in place. So I started putting in processes in place like that to give me some structure. I started including daily metrics that I'll start working towards. Metrics and processes I could really work towards. Things that are going to be, lagging indicators and also going to be leading indicators. And I started really building out, started improving our processes. I was able to pretty quickly start getting a lot of low-hanging fruit, which is kind of normal. You start a business, I got a lot of low-hanging fruit. So I was getting a lot of sales coming in. I'm like, this is great. But after, of course, I knew it was going to happen. If I didn't continue to prospect, my funnel would dry up, which I knew it was going to happen. So that was starting to happen already. So I started really ramping it up. But it was still like, for me, what I found was at the time, because I had this course I was selling, and then I also do one-on-one coaching as well. And, and sometimes some people just buy just a course, some would do one-on-one coaching, some would do both, right? And I'm like, okay, I need to make a better offer. So I started really refining my offer, making it even better, but it still wasn't scalable. So one of the ways I was selling my program was I would go and I would do a live webinar. So I'll do a live webinar, I'd set it up, you'd have a pitch at the end, and, I'd be like, cool, 5K, 10K, 15K, boom, awesome, great. And every 2 weeks, I was running a live webinar. And I felt like I was on a nonstop launch. So it was like up and down, up and down, up and down. I go no sales, 2 weeks, boom. No sales, 2 weeks, boom. And that was mentally exhausting, but also as you know, with tech issues, like having a live webinar, there's so much prep involved when you are owning and running that. And I remember even one of the very first webinars I ran, you can appreciate this given our issues we had, right? Like I got my first live on my own. And before in the past, I did plenty of webinars, but someone else always took care of the tech for me. They always set everything up for me. I just had to show up and teach. That was really it. I had to set everything up. So I had new webinar software, new everything. And it wasn't even Zoom webinar. It was a different one. It was like Webinar Jam or something like that. And I got on there, and I was really excited because I had like 200 people register for this. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go on this. I'm just going to wow them, do a pitch at the end. I go on there, and they can't see me. They can't see my screen. They can't see anything for the first 15 minutes. I'm like, oh no. And people I could always see the participant count start dropping off.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, oh no. Finally, I figured it out. I was able to start showing it. And then, of course, I went the whole thing. We had some people drop off, made $0 off that, made zero impact. And then, of course, I was really pissed. I'm like, crap, I should go back to corporate America. I need to go back to this. Oh, man, what's wrong with me? Then, of course, what can I do differently? So I started getting very particular. Okay, I need to over-prepare. I need to test the software out. I need to make sure all my tech works beforehand. So I redid my tech, made sure everything's really good. Tried again 2 weeks later. Boom. Bunch of sales. I'm like, wow, okay, that was my own fault, right? And then of course it was still because it was such an up and down. I felt every 2 weeks like this. I didn't like that, so it took too long. But I went and invested into a new mentor and coach, right? Who's very much into the internet marketing world and building automation and stuff like that. So I invested into that program, and that was awesome for my business. Started doing exactly what he told me. Started improving every part of my business, and my business continued to skyrocket. And that was a really neat thing to do for me. And since then, I met a different coach after that. And it's been amazing for my business because I've learned so much about these things. But is it hard? Yes, it definitely is hard. I think there's a very fine line.
Which I think which a lot of people, the reason I asked you this question was because a lot of people don't understand the struggles someone goes through when they become an entrepreneur, right? Especially when you become an entrepreneur full time, you don't have a steady income, right? Mm-hmm. The journey is a learning curve 24/7. I seen it with my dad growing up, business. So because I grew up around business, I knew one thing, it's going to be up and down. And the beginning is really hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have gray hairs to prove it.
I used to have hair, so yeah, I get it. Yeah,
I have gray hairs to prove it. But one thing was, watching my dad grow up was he was consistent. Mm-hmm. He didn't give up on that journey. He didn't give up because things got tough. He kept going and going and going and figuring things out. And a lot of people don't see that part. People just see the success because you weren't there with their journey. And it's one of the things that I keep talking a lot. And hence why I started this podcast live and calling it a hustler. It doesn't have to be just about entrepreneurs. It's just anybody that's hustling and is willing to share that journey. Like, hey, I didn't get here overnight. I didn't see success overnight. Our success dropped. Successful, failure, success, failure, which people a lot of don't understand that success that means different things to different people, but it's a journey. It's not, you can be successful one day and you cannot be successful one day. There may be times where you're pulling your hair, your head and like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to go back to working. Entrepreneur journey isn't easy. It's for me, it's not easy, but it's been the most rewarding one for me. I've learned so much, so much. I've grown so much. And interesting enough, my results also started when I got coaches. Yeah. You can't do everything on your own, right? So my results really started when I started investing in coaches. The first person I invested in was obviously the six-figure person. She goes by Six-Figure Chick. Because that's who I started looking at digital products, and I started investing in her coaching classes and stuff like that. Then I invested money in Damon John's program, Damon on Demand, because I just love that, his whole entrepreneur stuff. Then I got my sales coach, and that's when I really saw a huge difference. I till this day, I tell her, I wish I met you when I first started, mm-hmm. right? Because like the impact. Now, and you talked about coaches, and I think a lot of people sometimes shy away from getting a coach because they think it's like a failure that they have to get a coach and they should be able to do it, figure things on their own. What would you say to someone with that mindset? Like, why should you invest in yourself? And coach is you investing in yourself. Mm-hmm. So what would you say to people listening right now on why should people get coaches?
Yeah, so I think, first of all, I think it's very normal. I think you're spot on, right? It's scary asking for help. It really is. But when you really think about this, you think about any peak performing athlete. Let's say it's Michael Phelps, right? He is, the greatest Olympians of all time. Michael Phelps, the world-class swimmer, he didn't wait until he got into the Olympics to get a coach. He had a coach from the very beginning. And that's a really powerful lesson for all of us to really understand and learn is the peak athletes who become great at anything, they don't wait until they struggle to get a coach. They start getting a coach as soon as possible because they know it can shorten the distance between success and failure, when they start to success. And for those out there who are, wanting to really improve their results, I look back and I wish I got a coach sooner,
Me too.
As someone who has spent over 6 figures in coaching, like this past year, I've already spent over $15,000. This year, I'll probably spend $60,000 in coaching on myself, right? Mm-hmm. Because I know it is the greatest ROI because all you're doing is you are acquiring their knowledge. And when you think about this, when you want to acquire skills and knowledge, there's really 3 ways, okay? It's either number one, it costs you time, which is you going out there, trying to learn it yourself, trying to YouTube it, Google it, look for all the free stuff. But it comes at a freemium price, which is time. So you lose a lot of time. Number 2, it costs you money. You acquire the knowledge through programs, courses, coaches, right? But you do get out what you get out what you pay. Those who pay the most pay attention to get the fastest results, right? And then number 3, it's a mixture of both, right? And the reality is most people, it's going to be a mixture of both. It's being able to pay for those things to get what they want. This is why it's so vital. Whatever people are struggling with, it could be anything. It could be fitness, relationships, career coaching, sales coaching, whatever it's going to be. It's so vital to invest into those now, because those are going to give you the greatest return. Otherwise, you waste your time, going through, struggling, and your opportunity cost will cost you more than the investment into that program. So, for example, if someone's struggling to land a job, okay, let's just say they don't have a job right now, and their job, let's just say, for example, let's just say, keep it really simple, we'll make them, $10,000 a month at the job they want to get. The longer they go without getting help to get that job, let's just say it's 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, that actually costs them $10,000 a month. If it's 5 months, that actually costs them $50,000 to go without a job, in which they're also stressed and they're worried about finances, versus investing the amount of money to get a job faster and having skills to go and do that. So that's what a lot of people don't understand, is they focus on really the small amount of money, but the truth is the opportunity cost and regret is the greatest cost of not taking action and investing in yourself in any capacity or form.
Well said, because I always laugh when people Google. I'm like, well, free advice is only going to take you so far, right? And about that whole job aspect, yeah, like I coach people on landing a job, and a lot of my clients land up to 90% increases in salary compared to before they worked with me. And the beauty behind, I'm not saying go hire both of us, right? Like, it's like, pick the right coach that's fit for you.
Exactly
I've declined people. It's like, I'm not the right coach for you. I believe in whole energy. The energy needs to match my energy, your energy. You have to trust me. I have to be able to trust you. Like, I have turned away people. And I say it's not about the money. Like, I'm not in it to make money. I'm in it to really change and get people results. And I bring in 200%. When I'm going to coach you, I need you to bring in the 200, but the energy's got to mesh. So I always get on the phone call to make the match. But those that work with a coach, I've seen it firsthand. I've gotten results. My clients get results. Like, just this morning, one of my clients messaged me and she landed her first 6-figure job.
Amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
And it is like, there's techniques and stuff which you can learn from Google.
Well, here's reality. If you could Google it, okay, if it was that easy to Google things, YouTube things, everybody would be a billionaire with 6-pack abs. Exactly. That's what would happen. But the reality is a lot of times you need a lot more than just that. You need specifically knowing exactly what to do, why, and how it works. And
exactly.
I think about even just your example right there, right? It's like, if they didn't work with you, it's not just the amount of time that they saved, but also even the salary increase. But on top of that, like, you think about every year they get an increase in compensation. It's off your base salary. It's off the income you're already making. So it's a return that you would have lost out on if you didn't take the effort moving forward. And when people truly understand that, those are the ones who are really the best clients, because they're like, you know what? I need to start taking action. I can't wait around, because I can always get more money, but I can't get more time. So if I can save my time and give me more time back, it's going to be better value for me in the long run.
Yeah, and I openly say people, I only work with those that want results. Like, that's it. If you want
100%.
results, I'm the right coach for you. If you have, like, I don't know if this is gonna work, you had self-doubt, I'm not the coach for that. Like, you want a result, come to me, I'll get you results. But like the energy, right? Like, my client went from 40K to 60K. She landed a 60K job being in my bootcamp program, and that's the end result. No, that's not the end result. So that was the result, being in the program. And now aftermath. So I always tell people the return on your investment, my program's like lifetime. The strategy I'm teaching you, you're going to set your career up for success. Here's a perfect example. She went from 40K to 60K to now today, less than a year. This is all with less than a year being in my program. And now she landed a 6-figure job, and it's HR. So results is what you should be aiming to, and you should get the right coach to help you get the desired results. Now, we're near the end of the segment, so I wanted to quickly ask you, who's your ideal client? Who do you work with?
Yeah, so they are B2B sales professionals who obviously are action takers. They want to earn an additional $50,000 to $100,000 more in commissions and bonuses on top of what they're already earning. They are coachable. They show up, and they give it 100%. That's it. I think about this. It's probably similar to you, but I don't need someone who's perfect. I want someone who's going to take imperfect action, that they're willing to just lean towards this comfort and do the things that's required of them to become the best version of them. And those are ones who are really, really great, because I'm a firm believer. It's kind of like with your program, my program. I know my program works. I know my coaching works. But the most important thing is that person. Are they going to take action? Because if they take action, they'll get results. But if they're a non-action taker, if they're the ones who's going to sit on the sidelines, there's no point investing, whether it's $1 or $100,000, because you won't get the ROI if you just sit back and just want to just do nothing. The action takers are the ones who ultimately are the ones who get the fastest results, the fastest ROI, and they're the ones who are also singing your praises and referring you to everyone else as well.
Yeah, and you know what? Tony Robinson said this the best. He said the reason people are not successful is there's a reason only 1% people are successful in this world, is because of execution. Anyone can learn, but it's the execution, right? If you don't execute it, you will not get results. And he goes, that's where the difference comes in between many people, is the execution. A lot of people are willing to execute, and there's tons of people that or learn something and not do anything. They just sit on it. As you said, the sidelines. Right. Even when people approach me, is it guarantee results? And I'm like, no, nothing in life is guaranteed, because your results depend on you. And I go, I'm not one of those coaches going to guarantee you anything, because I'm in HR. I study human behavior for a living. I'm not stupid to say I'm going to guarantee, because your results are not dependent on me. I'm there to coach you, but are you coachable? Are you going to take action? Are you going to go get and do? Are you going to go and implement what I'm telling you to do? Because if you're not going to get the results. There's people who can get results in 2 weeks working with me. There's people, everyone's journey is different. Some people it takes longer, right? Everyone is different. For me to say, I guarantee you'll land a job in 30 days. Yeah, I can guarantee you that if you follow my program to the T and you do the work. But if you don't do the work, you're not going to get the results. And I think a lot of people have this guaranteed, like they want guaranteed. And it's like, you shouldn't go after guarantee. You should guarantee yourself first. Take a chance on you and guarantee that you will do everything that you need to do to get what you want. And I call it living your dream life. If you're going to just constantly make excuses for why something's not working in your life versus looking at why something's not working, and do that whole analysis and then go after what you want. A lot of people are too scared to even go after what they want.
Oh yeah. I mean, they fear the failure, they fear the rejection. And you are so spot on where it's, knowledge is fantastic, but at the end of the day, execution is where the rubber meets the road. It's how you actually get the result. Because on top of that, when they're going through programs like yours or mine, as they are executing, they get a result. They get feedback from the market. So then from there, they can refine and work with you to get a better result. And that's the power of being able to constantly get better. And at the end of the day, it's I love when people say, how fast can I get results? I'm like, well, how fast can you take action? Because that's what it depends on. Like, the faster you take action, the faster you get a result. But if you're slow to take action, if you're an overthinker, that's going to potentially hurt you if you're slow to take action.
So how can people reach you if they want interested in working with you?
Awesome. So you can definitely connect me on LinkedIn, send me a message on LinkedIn. Head over to sixfiguresalesacademy.com, which is right on my subtitle right there. Super easy. You can message me on there as well, or book a time right on my page too. But yes, for B2B sales pros who want to earn an extra 50 to 100K more, send me a message, connect with me, and let's find a way to make it work.
Great. So thank you, Marcus, for coming on as a guest to share your journey, share your story, and how you coach people B2B. So if you guys are not already following Marcus on LinkedIn, you're also on Instagram, right? Instagram.
I am. Yep. Instagram, Facebook. I'm on pretty much most. Facebook? No TikTok for me. I'm not that cool yet. I'm not that cool.
I'm never going on TikTok.
I'm not that cool. It's actually really addicting to go on there. My wife's on there. I'm like, these are hilarious videos. I'm like, I'll get nothing done if I was on there.
I never liked Snapchat. I never liked it. I was only on it one time because my cousin's in California. She was getting married and she's like, I get it, right? And I got it. I was like, what is this? And I deleted it. And then like, come back on. Like, it's always someone to do with family that kept me bringing back me to Snapchat. Never liked Snapchat. Twitter was not my thing. Never liked it. Facebook, fine. Instagram, okay. But LinkedIn is where I really spend my social media time. Love it. Okay, so guys, if you're not already following Marcus on LinkedIn, follow him. A lot of great content. I've been watching his content, and the energy you bring, even in your videos. You and Rob, you know Rob, right?
Wait, which Rob? I know a few different Robs. Yeah.
Gibber, Gibber.
Oh yeah. We the same haircut. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I met you guys. I think I met you through him. Both of you have this energy in your videos. Like when you watch them, you get pumped to like, yeah, let's do
this. Hey, that's you got. I mean, I think it's important, right? Especially as you know, the entrepreneur, you got to bring the energy every single day because some days are high, some are low. Regardless, you can just focus on being up here as much as you can. It makes it much easier to ride the roller coaster through life.
I actually have a call with Rob later today.
Awesome.
But yeah, the energy. I love the energy you bring into your content and your videos. If you guys not already following him, make sure you guys are following Marcus. Thank you so much, Marcus, for being my guest today. And thank you everybody for tuning in. And until next week, I'll be back with another great guest. So this whole podcast is going to happen once a week, and I have guests all the way till the end of this year already lined up. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your day. Bye.